Hey, everybody, welcome to the daily update for Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Happy hump day. We're going to do a real quick daily update today because I've got to get to a doctor's appointment for a follow up for my toe surgery. So let's get to it. Today, we gapped up out of the open, and then it was just that barcoding type day that the kids talk about, right? Up and down, above and below yesterday's close, the high of the day, closing in the middle of the range. The good thing is that we were quite a ways off of the low. If you look at the Dow, you see the Dow's a little bit stronger, right? Gapped up here above the high of the day and just went sideways for the rest of the day. IWM a little bit weaker, and Q's about the same as the SPX. So where does that leave us? As my wife starts yelling about something downstairs. Well, look, people ask me, like, why do you like consolidation days? Why do you always say I'd love to go sideways for a day or two? Because you need to work off moves, I think, most of the time before you go higher. And we're working off the moves here, but it makes it a little bit tougher. Like if you're sideways for a couple days, you don't have to worry, are we gapping and going? You just say, hey, we're waiting for a base to form here. It's a place where I can manage my risk. So SPX tried to go, came in a little bit, ended the day slightly, just basically flat, I guess. Right? We're up a little bit. Not the worst thing. Look, we're still above the 8. Can you get upset about that? No. A little bit a little bit higher volume on a small up day. Again, is that more volume down here, more volume up here? I'm not going to play the game. We're just going to say that the day was higher volume. If we look at the Qs, so false start. We had a sideways consolidation day yesterday. I would have liked one more so that we could have got the other indexes in sync. See, that's the other thing, right? It'd be great if they were all in sync. We started to go yesterday on SPX and we went sideways on the Qs. So it would have been nice if we had an inside day here, and then all of them could have gone in unison, or at least the Qs and SPX could. But market doesn't care what I want. We finished exactly in the middle of yesterday's range. So you could say, all right, scratch this, this is where we're at. If this was a line chart here, we'd be looking like this, right? So big deal. There's not a whole lot going on there. But when you flip it back to a candle, you see the up and down, and sometimes people overanalyze that. But we're right above the 8, still kind of in the middle of this range. Maybe we try again tomorrow to get out of this range and move towards the highs. The Dow looks strongest of all the indexes for sure, back into new all-time highs. And finally, IWM, which, we talked about this a lot. Why is IWM, what's wrong with IWM? Why is it broken? Why isn't it moving? And I keep saying the same thing, because we are on a 4-year resistance level. That's a big level, and it's going to take some time to get through there. So we're working our way through there, and it's going to be choppy and sloppy for a while, but that's just the way it is. Okay, so let's go over to the VIX. All right, so there's the crush and volatility, follow through, smaller bar that's green. Right, we've seen this pattern before. Crush and volatility, and then smaller bars. Right, crush and volatility, smaller bars. Now this time we continued to go lower. This time when we got the small bar, we popped. I don't know, I feel like this was a good little pause right here. I feel like we still can break this bar here. There's nothing here that worries me, that's for sure. TLT, all right, trying to run back up here, recapturing some of the moving averages off of the 200. Now we're back above the 50. Now we're back above the 8. We've actually got the 8 and the 21 inverted, but this area looking like it's forming a pretty decent support level. Dixie, still trying to figure out, is it going to take some pressure off the dollar? We ran into resistance here. We got rejected by the 200. We had a very even, orderly pullback, very controlled, very small bar here. So do we fall off a cliff here, or is that just the pullback and we start to go up? If we do this, that probably puts a little more pressure back on small caps. Bitcoin, all right, Bitcoin's looking like it's about ready to roll over. We talked about this yesterday. Rejection here, pretty hard rejection, And now we're starting to go back below this rising trend line. So Bitcoin really is kind of at a make or break spot. Ethereum, just right above that rising trend line. Why is this extra line here? And Solana, I could have guessed because it was the weaker one starting to break below here. So some pressure on crypto. XHB still looks like it's in this weird little, was a bear flag. Now it's the super hyper tight channel. Trying to get back above the 200. It's at a pretty interesting spot here because you got the 200, you got this short to intermediate term downtrend. So it's right at an inflection point. I feel like it's going to make a pretty big move one way or the other. Decent bar here for SMH. Trying to come back off of this area. Probably is waiting until NVIDIA's earnings come up, which are, the 19th? So pretty soon. XBI. Great little consolidation bar in the very top range of this bar. And I think XBI might be telling us what is going to happen eventually with IWM. Well, we'll see. XLF, love this. Love that we are breaking higher, getting back towards the all-time highs. Carry, not quite participating, trying. Gave it a shot today, got knocked back down. Oil, whew. Look at where it's rejected, right at that trend line. And it looked like OIH was showing us that it was going to go higher. XLE looked like it was going to go higher, but both of those are confirming the move today. Excuse me, especially OIH. Gold, yeah, moving nicely after this pullback, continuing higher. GDX definitely confirming that. Silver, wow, confirming that. And pot still waiting for its catalyst. Nothing's coming over today because we got so many things on the list already that look good. It should be ready to go. I'm pretty sure nothing's coming over, right? I do like, that's interesting. I like that on Microsoft. I think one more day or 2 more days on CFLT. What else? So here's what was on the list yesterday. SoFi, boom, that goes over to the active list, which I didn't set up correctly. There we go. DraftKings, following through off that little consolidation there. Is it active? I guess technically. I don't know. I'd give this one a lot of room. Citibank. I still think this can get out of here. This is where we started it. It keeps getting up here. I mean, I still think it can clear this area, although it's probably technically active. Toast, I think, looks even better. I love this tight consolidation here, especially after this tap down in this area. So this looks pretty good. Wells Fargo tried, got knocked back down. Normally, I would take it off the list, but you know what sort of market we're in now. We're in a forgiving market, so unless that goes the other way, it stays there. Toll looking pretty damn good here. Kava looks like a piece of crap, goes away. Amazon, whew, that looks ugly, goes away. Tesla, this is usually where it bounces right here on the VWAP, but it's not set up on a daily, so I can't keep it there. Meta, that doesn't look good. Whew. All right. So clearing some things out here. Let's see. So we just moved these 2 over. Let's see what was on the list. Morgan Stanley, beautiful. JP Morgan continues to be active. Las Vegas Sands just waiting for the 8 to catch up. Apple, maybe one more day, goes back on the green. Google, one more day here, probably goes back on the green. Valero, pulling back a little bit, still active. CrowdStrike, all right, this thing needs to get going or it's going to fall off the list. Palantir, that goes away. Halliburton goes away. All right, so sorry for the abbreviated daily update, but we got to the meat of the stuff here. You get this toe thing taken care of and get back on the horse. So anyway, if you're not in the Discord, get in there. And if you get in there, I will see you there tonight. Bye.